Hello and welcome to this Isle of Harmony sort of weekly podcast. We had some issues last week, shifts and work and life events, but we're back this week on the regular. Hopefully, who knows? Next week could be another crazy time. Nobody knows, not even us. The universe knows, maybe. So yes, well, not much had happened last week, but this week we got quite a lot to talk about, really. So first of all, I think let's just go with the kind of most interesting and what we have the most news about, which is Daleks, the series, the YouTube series, Time Lord Victorious. Interesting. I like that they've made a series dedicated to the Daleks. I've always kind of wanted that, especially in New Who, and I know that animation is a bit.
Yeah, it's rough. It's very rough. Like when Dreamland from over a decade ago looks better.
You know? I think, well, what I want to say is that Dreamland looked better. However, there was like less locations and it was very kind of small, while this one looks very big, grandiose, trying to do, you know, space battles and crazy shit. So I get, and also I think a good point to look at is this is free as well. Like the only thing they're really gonna get from this is ad revenue. That'll be about it.
So was Dreamland though.
No, but that was okay. That was on TV, which gets you a lot more money than on YouTube.
And then was posted for free on the Doctor Who website.
Oh, was it on Doctor Who? Well, that's also then website revenue. Like the fact that it's on YouTube is just interesting. Like it's an interesting thing, and on TV always means it has more of a budget than if it was social. Like social has basically budget next to zero. So the fact that we're getting an original series on YouTube is pretty awesome. Yeah. You know, it's free.
I agree.
You know, it's nice having some new Doctor Who content to watch, regardless. And we've got at least hopefully the sound mixing will be good. Though the trailer's sound mix was a bit off, to be honest. I don't know. It didn't sound very well mixed to me, but hey ho, sorry to that person who did that. But yeah, just like I don't know, the hums and everything like cut off really weirdly on the headphones. I don't know what happened. It sounded like an early draft. It just needs some music in there, but hey ho. So yeah, obviously it's got Nick Briggs voicing the Daleks, and then randomly Joe Snug is voicing something in there.
Yeah.
I'd love if there was just one Dalek in the whole thing who was just like a YouTube vlogger. He was like, "Hey guys, welcome. I'm Thatcher Dalek. I'm here. We're going off to exterminate the Zygons this week. It's going to be really fun. I hope you can join me.
Here is my tutorial on extermination. Watch as I exterminate. There you go. Any questions? Leave in the comments below.
What was your favorite kill?
Hit the bell notification, or you will be exterminated.
Exactly. I mean, I don't think we need the whole thing, but I kind of, I don't know. Thank you for that question. You know, every time we do the Daleks, you end up going off on it. It's
well, you kind of need to. You need that commitment when emulating a Dalek.
Yeah, I know, but the whole thing. But
yeah.
Okay, well there you go. If you wanted a Dalek vlog, there you go. That's it. That's what it would sound like. The whole thing. Got the whole shebang right there. Maybe that's what we should put at the end of every video now. Just that soundbite. But yeah. So it looks interesting. They haven't really revealed much about it. Just like the kind of people who are voicing
other than
it.
The old Star Emperors there,
which is
they
cool.
Have been.
Yeah, I like that.
But the comics Emperor specifically.
Yeah.
And War of the Daleks.
Kind of style of even Remembrance of the Daleks kind of had that style.
Kind of like in terms of the ball head, sure. But the actual like casing is quite different because of course
oh, obviously it was white.
Remembrance one had, of course, bigger. The flap. Two, it didn't have an eye stalk. They didn't have any lights on it, I don't think.
It didn't have an eye stalk. It did have an eye kind of.
Yeah, it had
a hexagon.
Yeah, hexagon thing. Yeah.
But yeah, yeah, it looks interesting. I'm excited to watch it. They haven't really. It says it's dropping every week until early 2021. Oh no, that's sorry, reading the wrong thing. But it's 5 10-minute episodes, which is pretty good. So it's 50 minutes overall, really. So it's like an episode of Doctor Who. I've always wanted kind of an episode where we just follow the Daleks. So hopefully this is kind of like that. And it's launching in November, which obviously kind of, anniversary month makes sense that, it's, Daleks are kind of there to celebrate, as there's not really anything else going on. So it's nice that there's something to celebrate. What would it be? Well, I mean, it's 15 years since New Who. What would it be? It would be 3 from 6. It would have like 57th, I think, is what it would be, anniversary. So that's pretty cool. So yeah, I look forward to it. I'm not going to judge it by the animation. The fact that they've done 50 minutes of very. I mean, when you're already looking at shots.
I sat through the webcast back in the day, considering how rough they look. Like, I can sit for anything.
Yeah.
I was just commenting on the Dreamland comparison.
Oh yeah, for sure.
The closest frame of reference I had, I suppose, this sort of thing.
I mean, Infinite Quest was okay, but that was very 2D animation, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it kind of fit in with the kind of Flash animation style of the time. So, kind of along the same lines that they did for like the invasion animation and whatnot. It kind of fits into that kind of art style side of it.
I wonder how much this is going to tie in to the final. So this was the final missing piece. Okay, so that was that question mark thing when we looked through the timeline. That was what it was. Yeah, interesting. Did you get the comic? Did you get the first comic?
I've ordered it. It hasn't arrived yet.
Nice. Can't talk about that then, but I hope it's good. Yeah, it'd be interesting if you could talk us through that. Might borrow it just to save a pennies. But yeah, I'm excited. It looks like
actually relatively cheap, to be fair. They were only like $3, $4.50 or something.
Yeah, I gotta say, in one of these shots, at around 7 seconds in the Daleks teaser promo, it looks like they're invading London with their saucers. Just by the way that, like, on the planet, it's like the lights and
again.
Well, I think this is from what we're reading, like in the blurb, it's like time's gone wrong and it's like a parallel universe and like they're invading all the time or something like that. I think maybe because the Doctor decided to take time, into his own hands, that it's gone bad. But yeah, I like the Daleks font actually. When did that become the official font? That like for Daleks, like it's very triangular.
I think it always kind of
was that
for a long time. I mean,
from the movie maybe.
If I think back, maybe the Daleks Annual, I think, had something kind of like that.
Maybe. Interesting. Yeah. I wonder if anyone knows. If anyone knows, comment below when it became the official font, because that'd be interesting to know. So,
but it's probably different fonts, but I mean they're kind of
the same style of the kind of very pointy edge. It's mainly the E, which is a bit like an arrow. And like the D is more of a point. But obviously, sadly this week Diana Rigg died. She starred in the Crimson Horror as Mrs. Gillyflower back in 2013, and obviously she was also in like the Avengers and Game of Thrones. So that's a very sad loss. She was great in that episode. Definitely like the standout thing from that episode as a whole. Like while it's not the most amazing episode, like he's one that actually has stood out to me for quite a long while actually. It had a very I don't know, style to it. It's memorable. I think it's like not one that you'll forget, be like, oh, the Crimson Horror, which one was that one? I think you know exactly which one it is.
I mean, when you mention it, the only thing I think of is Doctor's kind of red.
Yes, when he's
face.
like stumbling out.
That's
a great shot. That that one always sticks out. I always remember the weird. It's the thing on a like.
Oh yeah, I had forgotten about that.
Never mind. But I remember quite a bit about that episode. I think I actually enjoyed it quite a lot. I did like the Victorian vibe when they did it right, and I think that was the episode where I felt like they got it the right amount, like, and then Deep Breath was a bit too. It was too soon after Crimson Horror, really going back in Deep Breath.
Yeah,
but, I always think like the Postronata? Is that how you say it? Like I always feel like they built them up in like series 7. They had the snowmen, and they had the Crimson Horror, then they had Deep Breath, then never seen again, ever again. Like, not even when the 12th Doctor died, did Testimony bring them to talk to him. Like, I thought at least they would have showed up there. Like, just even for like one line, you know? I just felt like, I always thought that they'd revisit them. Like, they did them so much in such a short amount of time. Oh, a Name of a Doctor, bloody hell! It was like 2 episodes. Yeah, the Crimson Horror, then bloody Name of a Doctor.
Yeah.
And then they just dropped them after Deep Breath. It was kind of the weirdest.
I mean, now they
thing.
got a Big Finish series.
I know they got Big Finish, but just like, it's like they were in Capaldi's first story, and it was like it was a bit like the bit like Tom Baker really, and they had like Unit in the first episode, then pretty much like fucking see you later. Then they had a but at least they had one where they, you know, Zygon inversion, and it was pretty much then like fuck off, you don't exist anymore. Until what was it?
Well, I mean, to be fair, in the 4th Doctor's era, they kind of had the well, I guess the android invasion kind of is a sort of closure on that ish. Maybe.
But you know, it's like it's pretty much kind of the same. Like, you set up this really cool thing and then you pretty much just get rid of it really quickly. Bye. Yeah, and I mean, Unit didn't really come back until, I mean, there was one with Brigadier in the 5th Doctor era, but that wasn't really Unit.
Yeah.
He was a maths teacher at that point. And then so it wasn't really till the 7th Doctor Battlefield did they really come back. That's freaking ages.
Yeah.
That's a good story. I love Battlefield.
Yeah.
Awesome story. Slightly confusing, but awesome. I kind of like that from the 7th.
I wouldn't say confusing.
Well, it's like, when did this all happen? When was he Merlin? Is he Merlin? Like, it's nice.
That's
it's the nice
kind of
mystery.
The point, though. It's supposed to kind of bring in all that questions.
Doctor
I mean, that's kind of
Who.
what I liked about elements of the Sylvester McCoy in particular.
No.
It's just that mystery. Just
that. It's nice. Enough
addition.
Enough that it's interesting, but not too much that you're like, I don't get this. What the fuck's going on? Like,
exactly.
Yeah, it'd be nice to return to that a bit. I think. I always felt that a lot around the Time War, you know, for at least the 9th and 10th Doctor's era. It always was nice around that.
Yeah, it's just a bit of a mystery.
Yeah, like, you kind of got bits and bobs, but that was about it. And, you know, alien species were like, oh yeah, we got destroyed in the Time War, and that's the kind of the sad thing. I like the Big Finish had gone back and filled in the back.
Jodie Whittaker, and everything's on display.
Everything's there.
It's the entire Doctor's life.
I mean, this is a good segue into, so new Doctor Who should be shooting next month, hopefully, but obviously it's going to take double the amount of time doing it safely.
Sure.
So from what's been rumored is that Mandip Gill is going to be returning as Yaz, but it sounds like Bradley Walsh and Tonson Cole will not be returning. So it's, which I think's great.
I mean,
not that I don't like them.
They are kind of finished
in
like
the first
season
series.
Before.
Yeah,
they haven't had anything to do.
I don't know why you'd write it like that to complete their arc, but then keep them on. It's like then his arc was throw a basketball.
I mean, they kind of did that with Clara too. They completed their arc, and then she was just
there,
you know.
And then they kind of they did kind of bring it back in series 9, but series 8 was like, I'm in love, and that was pretty much it. And at least in series 9, it was that she was getting ridiculously reckless, because she thought she was so untouchable, which I quite like. You know, we never really had that in a companion before, where they become so reckless that like things that should scare you just weren't scaring her at all. And I did like that. I thought that was really good, actually. In hindsight, I kind of, while the episodes weren't the best, I'm kind of quite fond of, you know, how reckless she was getting, and you can really see it in, you know, Face the Raven, when she's like hanging out the TARDIS, almost dies, and she just laughs, and it's like, it's kind of a bit like off-putting. It's a bit like, oh, that's slightly weird. And that was set up well, you know, in like Flatline, where, you know, she kind of took over. So I think like, they did redeem Clara a bit. I did get tired of her after 3 seasons though. And like everything was about Clara. But yeah, it's I'm glad that they're going. I think it'll be better with a 2-person TARDIS. I think it'll give Jodie more screen time, give Yaz more screen time. so we could just get better characters out of them both. Because I know they're in there. I know that.
Yeah.
I know that it can happen. I know that we can get a bit more characterization out of these two, and some really interesting elements. And I think it would be better with a two-person TARDIS team.
Agreed.
So I like that.
Who knows their plans? I mean, even if Yaz returns, doesn't mean they won't necessarily bring someone else in.
Yeah, that's true.
We'll have to see, but
yeah, I think
I hope if they bring somebody else in, I hope it's not two more. I guess.
No, I hope if they do a person for a series, it's Jack comes back for a series, or just like a couple of comes in for a bit.
Yeah,
like you can't just do that cameo scene and then not bring him back in like at least the next series or the series after that. Like, sure, maybe not next series, but you'd have to. You can't just leave it at that. Like that would be hurtful. That would be hurtful for a fan base to tease that, and like he never meets Jodie's doctor. Like that would just be ridiculous.
Yeah, it would be.
But you can kind of see it happening.
Yeah, you can see it. Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Yeah.
But I mean, like that's just speculation. That's just our gut. Just playing worst case scenario. But I'm excited. New series. But the only now downside is that it might not come out till 2022. But they're hoping to bring it out in 2021. Or at least something. I feel like what they should do, because if it is going to take longer, is they do the special in the new year, then they do the first episode of the next series in the summer, then another Christmas or New Year special, whatever, and then continue the series, like something like that, just to tie it over, because it would be over a year and a half, which is just it's not good. And do you know what worked really well? Another series which did it, which they knew that it was going to take a while to get the whole series out, was Rick and Morty. They released the first episode of series 3, like months before they were going to release the rest of it, just to get fans excited, and keep them interested in the franchise. And it worked. It got everyone interested. Because it just ties it over. It's like the specials, it worked really well doing those specials during 2009, and there was only 3 of them. There was the Easter, Waters of Mars, then the Christmas special. So it's like we got 2 extra episodes, and I'm not even asking for 2, just do one extra episode. And then you got to think they're doing 2022. If a series comes out into 2021, 2022, if it comes out in 2022, then the next series will have to coincide with the 60th. So yeah, it's a lot of it's a lot of juggling at the minute. So understandably to them, they might be a bit stressed because they're like, oh my god, what if Jodie wants to leave after this series? Like, I kind of hope she stays on for 2 more. I know we can get a great doctor out of her. I just don't think we've completely seen it yet. Last series was definitely a step up for her as a character, though there was the mistread with the whole cancer thing and her being socially awkward. Definitely should have handled that one a bit differently. I get doing like an awkward doctor, but that should be more talking. They should have spoken about a relationship or someone fancying someone or something, and the doctor being a bit awkward about that, not cancer. I feel like you should. I know it was just a bit of a mistread of socially awkwardness. I get what they were trying to do, but it just made the doctor seem like a bit of a dick. They should have explained it a bit more as why she was being socially awkward. Like, have her be awkward at the start of the episode about it, and then at the end address it and be like, I'm sorry I acted that way. I just don't know how to act when I find out someone near me is, hurting and there's nothing I can do about it. Even though I'm pretty sure in all of time and space there would be a cure for cancer in the future somewhere. Like, don't you think? Like, I feel like that would eventually be a thing. So I don't think you could ever really have a companion die of that, unless like they kept it secret for so long that it became like terminal or something. And it'd be interesting. That would be an interesting dynamic if Bradley Walsh is like, she's like, oh, I'll take you to the future. I'll get you, we can get you like a robot. I don't know, was it a liver cancer or something he had? I can't remember.
Something like that.
But yeah, like, oh, I can get you this, I can get you that. And Bradley, Graham's like, no, I don't want that. it's my time to go, and that would be a really interesting exchange. However, I don't think that will happen if it's just this episode coming up, unless there's a time jump. Unless there's a time jump, and there's been enough time for him to have, the cancer to have come back, which would be interesting because at the moment the Doctor's locked up in the maybe Sharda, probably not the Shadow Proclamation, more likely. It would have been cool if it was Sharda though. But yeah, so we'll see. But I still excited, even though there's parts that they've done. I'm still excited about the series. I still love the series. I'm still gonna watch, and I'm excited for the new series. Every time there's talks of a new series, I'm excited and interested. I'm intrigued on what they're gonna do. I mean, you look at the last two series; they've been so radically different. It's like, what the hell are we gonna get next? Maybe I'll hate every episode of it. Yeah, maybe I'll hate every episode of it, and I'll be like, okay, well, at least now you can go in a different direction. It's like it's kind of nice playing around with it and seeing what does work, what doesn't work. And I think the way of doing Series 11 and had its doing individual different monster every week, no classic returning. I kind of find that refreshing. In a way,
it doesn't. I don't think a series has to rely on classic monsters to succeed. It's just that the monsters that they added were not up to spec with the rest of them.
I think say if like Nikola Tesla had been in that series, it would have been it would have helped a bit. Like I don't know. I felt that they were that wouldn't have helped them more,
because like even the monster in that is not the strongest part of that episode.
No. But I don't know. I just felt like it's a bit more. It was a bit more upbeat, I guess, is the story. I don't know. I kind of like that historical. I did like.
I mean, we kind of got that in Kablam.
And Kablam. I love Kablam. Yeah, that was a really good. I like that one. I like the twist that it wasn't the robots who were evil. It was the human, and the robots were actually trying to help. It was cool.
And it wasn't the humans you thought was going to be evil, but another human.
Yes, it was. Yeah, it was a good story. I love that one. Definitely my favorite of that series. I think Rosa probably being second, and I do like the Witchfinders, even though the villain was slightly weak. I thought they were very scary, especially when they were like coming down that hallway with the axe. So that was it was nice, some classic kind of Doctor Who feel to that actually. I think it's like so far it's like this feels like the era is kind of like the end of the Tom Baker era. You have some really good ones, you have some kind of just okay ones. It's kind of this is what this kind of period of
I mean, the end of Tom Baker was more like a lot of okay with like maybe one or two bright spots, but
that's what I'm kind of feeling like this one. I don't think there's anything been super bad. There's been like one or two which I'd say were awful, which was Orphan 55 and Arachnids. I say those are the two which
Ghost Monument.
I don't think it's like the elements are good. The opening 10 is
and the finale.
Decent.
Don't forget about the finale of series 11.
Finale. But the thing is I don't particularly think that's a bad episode. I think it's just a bad finale.
I think it is a bad episode because it fails to actually deliver on. Like the way it sets everything up is so kind of hand-fisted and forced in its way. Like you're not really, and like the actual interesting elements of the plot are never given time really to develop.
Yeah,
it just rushes through. Like you introduce these weird magical people that can lift rocks and whatever. And you don't
basically
really do anything with. They just kind of stand around, and then all the planets are captured, but there's no stakes to that. And like you don't see any impact that capturing all these planets will do. And oh goodness, the universe is ending, but you're not. There's no.
Hey, the Doctor ran in slow motion. It was dramatic.
Oh wow!
But yeah, okay. I still don't think it's. I don't know. I need to rewatch it. I need to go back with hindsight.
It's not the worst Jodie Whittaker episode, but
no, Orphan 55 definitely
really
is
poor.
Orphan 55 is definitely the worst. That was just a mess.
Yeah, Orphan 55 by far the worst, and then Arachnids, probably Ghost Monument. Then to the Saranga Conundrum.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, I've got the Saranga on my calendar right now.
Everyone's favorite month.
That's not the best thing to wake up to.
I've got. It's just gonna be a shit month.
Just turn around and it got that.
Oh, the pating!
Like...
Look at that cute little guy who's supposed to be the most indestructible thing of you. I hate when they like give statements like that. Like this creature is undestroyable. It's like, well then, like that's the universe fucked then, isn't it? Unless they had like a really what it should have been, what they should have added was a really short lifespan, so that while they're indestructible and they can create so much havoc, they only live for like 24 hours. So it would have been more about surviving 24 hours on the ship, making sure it didn't destroy anything. I think that would have added a bit more. Yeah. That's when I'd be okay with a really indestructible being. But they literally said nothing about like how long they live for. They can literally eat anything. Like, you know, like it's too OP without a weakness. I don't like that. It becomes like, well, how the fuck do you destroy it? And if you do destroy it, it's a really like, I don't know, it doesn't pay off. It's like, wow, you have to come up with a really genius way of destroying it. Like, which I don't know how you do with something that undefeatable. But yeah, this weekend it's a fez. I wear fezzes now. Fezzes are cool. In a picture of Matt Smith without a fez. I'm sure you could have got Matt Smith in a fez for one of these months.
It's an invisible fez.
It's an invisible fez. There we go. It's just so weird to have that quote and then not a shot of him with the fez on. But
it's like the whole thing in in Time of the Doctor, where they're on the ship and they actually are naked. But
they're naked. Yeah. The perception.
It's like that. He's got a fez on, but
yeah, it's nice. I like this daily calendar. It's nice. Keeps me up to date. Yeah, it's nice ripping it off.
What calendars are meant to do.
Well, it's because you know to rip it off, and you can. It's like nice. Keeps it more in my head. I'm like, what day is it? I'm like, I know because I ripped it off my calendar. But yeah, it's cool. But yeah, I think that's all. That's all for this week. Yeah. But yeah, so it might be delayed.
I would say more on because I got out of time, but I haven't actually watched it.
Do you like the casing?
So, listen to it. The case is nice. I can get it out. It's literally right here. But yeah, it's a nice case. Nice case.
Jesus, there we go. Hey, look at that! Oh, it's cool having them both on.
It's both cover. On, and they got both designs of the TARDIS on the back.
Oh, it's
it won't
sweet.
Reflect so much. You can kind of see
look,
that.
There's me. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah.
It's still in its plastic wrapping at the second.
Oh,
yeah,
nice.
I will take it out.
Well, that would help if you wanted to listen to it.
Yes.
But yeah, there we go. I think that's everything for this week, really. So looks like there might be delays, but hopefully we'll start to get some information about the new series. Whether it's just little drips and dribbles, we'll be able to talk about it for at least 10 minutes. So there we go. Aren't you going to get the best quality podcast out there? This is it. The quintessential Doctor Who podcast. Well, there we go then.
So here's a picture of Jodie Whittaker.
Wow.
She's got blonde
hair. Has she dyed it a lighter blonde? That's pretty crazy. Yeah, we'll see. I'm excited.
They've ruined Doctor Who.
I'm excited for new stuff. Hopefully we'll get news about the Dalek special. I'm excited for that as well. Seeing an all-out war with the Daleks. Hopefully it pays off.
Again.
We saw Remembrance, but we've never really seen it in New Who, like proper, like full-on Dalek war. So fingers crossed. It's gonna be fucking awesome.
Kind of an into the well, not a whole Dalek war, I suppose.
No, we're gonna have different colors and different factions. Obviously, we saw the new design, which it'll be interesting to see that in play. Because obviously it's hard to judge it when you see like just a lifeless picture of one. It's without anyone in it or color grading or anything making it look nice. So yeah. I'm excited. Hopefully we'll get a promo November time for it. I think that's usually about when Children in Need usually got something around then. I doubt it'll be Christmas, but maybe they will bump it up to Christmas because of so little that's been shot.
Yeah.
Because I mean, like a lot of things that are shot for Christmas happen over the summer.
I can just imagine most of BBC's programming just being repeats this year.
But then, like, that's the thing. It's like if you could have that one shining new thing, and it's Doctor Who, because it's done. They filmed it fucking ages ago, so it would be done. It would be perfected. Imagine like slamming that Dalek full-on war on Christmas Day. Maybe they'll bump it up. Maybe they'll go like, look, you don't even have to fight for it. We're going to put it here. Because people are more likely going to watch it. I can tell you now. People will be like, oh, it's the Daleks on Christmas. Sure, fucking put it on, in the background. Probably have no idea what's going on, but whatever. If you just do a recap at the start of it from what happened at the end of the last series, then yeah.
Yeah.
Doctor's in the prison. You just literally can open with the Jadoon scene, like taking the Doctor, and that's it. Then you'll know. Like you could open that. You could have opened an episode with the Jadoon taking the Doctor, and that would be enough. Okay, they've arrested the Doctor for something. That's it, So yeah, hopefully Christmas then. Actually thinking about that, it would be dumb if they didn't, and it's just a load of repeats. I will get mad. I'll be angry. I will be frustrated.
Christmas Day just becomes like a Malcolm and Wise marathon.
Oh god. Yeah,
as much as I enjoy Malcolm and Wise, it's like you just
want new content, don't you? I mean, I remember Gavin and Stacey was last year as well. That was the new thing on Christmas Day. As all the soaps always have it, but Doctor Who was such a staple. Let's bring it back. But I know that it's probably that they want. Oh well, we want an episode in 2021. Like we've already had loads of episodes this year. I'm like 7 days makes no fucking difference. If you put it on New Year's Day, no one gives a fuck. Everyone's hungover. Yeah. Everyone's like just not interested in watching TV really. Like I don't know. You're on Netflix or you're just relaxing. I don't know. People don't do much on New Year's Day. It's not on the front of their mind. But Christmas, it's like you're in the living room. You're with family, so your viewing figures are high. Like surely you want to boast about some of the highest figures in years. Like it makes your show look good, and then people are like, oh shit, maybe it's pretty good. And if it's a really good episode, then hopefully people would be like, oh wow, this female Doctor's not too bad, let's try the next series. Like there's lots of positives of trying it, and I mean I think there's a good chance they could easily get it on Christmas Day. It's whether Chibnall's just going to be stubborn now and be like, well, this doesn't have anything Christmas related in it. I don't fucking care if it's got Christmas related shit in it or not. Just put it on Christmas fucking Day. What the people want. No one has asked for it on New Year's Day. I don't think we've seen any one person who's been like, I think probably like there's some people who defend it being like, oh well, I prefer it on New Year's Day because I'm busy with family on Christmas, which I can get that. But also when you compare the viewing figures, you can't
this
argue.
year be even more important since there's a possibility that people aren't even going to be able to visit family this year.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean that would be even more TV sets, so even more viewing figures. Like people aren't going to go out as much. Probably people won't go on a Christmas walk or something. People are going to be inside watching TV. I will be, but obviously I'll watch Doctor Who whatever day it's on. But for the common audience, like my mum and grandma will probably more likely watch it on Christmas Day with me than if it was New Year's Day. It's just in the lounge. Well, actually, I'll probably watch it up here on my bigger TV. But it's like more people will be watching it for sure.
Yeah,
for sure, hands down. But there we go. That's it. Comment below if you think it should be on Christmas. Are you excited for the new series? Are you glad that it's going to be just 2 companions, hopefully, from what's rumored? Subscribe. We do this hopefully weekly, and we've got some other stuff planned coming up. I'm now unemployed, so I got a lot more time to work on stuff. My internship finished. I wasn't fired. Just want to put that out there. So yeah, I got more time to work on some stuff. Fury from the Deep comes out next week, so hopefully I can do a little unboxing video because those seem to do well. So there we go. We'll see you next time, guys. Bye.
Bye.